Let's go into game number 2.
Trying to make the sounds of that the screen's shifting around.
Ah, okay.
I'm not as good as the game is.
No, not quite, but I give you props for trying, Tasteless. This is the PokerStrategy.com Team Liquid Star League. We have NonY against JF in the round of 4. The map destination, NonY is up 1-0. And NonY, this time, teal Protoss at 12 o'clock. Meanwhile, JF, the orange Protoss, down at 6.
Special thanks to our sponsors, and thank you at home for tuning in, because this would not be possible without you. You know what? It's always good to be back casting some StarCraft games for you guys. We live in Korea. This is mostly what we do, is commentate StarCraft along with doing other stuff, esports related. And again, there's nothing I love more than talking about two non-Korean StarCraft players, because it doesn't happen enough, frankly.
Oh, absolutely. And I tell you what, really the foreigner scene, that is, of course, the English-speaking StarCraft scene, everyone has a very specific style, more so than Korea. And also, you know, there's a lot more trash talk. Everyone knows each other because the good players have been good forever. They've run into each other 100 times. It really makes for exciting battles. These guys know each other quite well. And we can see, like last game, NonY, his build was very well prepared for exactly what JF did. You know, I think he kind of predicted what JF would do, went ahead and countered it, and I mean, that is what Foreigner StarCraft is all about, man. You really have to play a lot more mind games than in a Korean StarCraft match.
Absolutely. Doesn't look like anybody proxy gated here. We are seeing the standard PvP opener, Pylon Gateway Gas. Look, I think with these two players, any unusual tech patterns don't really hit up until the mid-game, early mid-game.
Yeah.
These are not the kind of all-in PvP players we see usually in lower-level PvPs, where you get some guy who is going to make one gateway in your main, or something like that. So, again, we're going to have a little bit of calm here before the storm starts up. And it's going to be a StarCraft 2 storm, so it's going to be crazy.
Oh, wow.
It's going to be crazy.
Takes a minute to start up, but when it's gone, man, it is gone.
If it was a StarCraft 2 storm, it would be done in a second.
Yep. Well, we see here making a Zealot up in NonY's base, and JF also, so the builds are mirroring each other exactly up to this point, like, to the second. I mean, this is really quite crazy. Everything's even warping in at the exact same time. So both these guys obviously have very tight build orders that they are following to a T.
Sometimes if you see players get two Zealots in moments like this, they're going to go for an expansion. Because with the two Zealots and the Dragoons, it's pretty easy to hold a base here. But we don't see that for either of them. So far, these two players looking in a mirror when they see their opponent's strategies. My God, the timing here is exactly the same.
Yeah, everything is literally within like a quarter of a second of each other.
Yeah.
It's quite astounding. You know, if we see the exact same build words out of each other, Tasteless, who do you think would end up winning?
Well, if it's Reaver play, I'm going to go with NonY. If it is anything like a DT play from JF, for instance, specifically, then I think it could mix things up. But Reaver play, NonY, NonY PvP, I don't believe I've ever beat him PvP, going Goon Reaver against his Goon Reaver. And I know a lot of other people had the same experience. I know I've talked to G5 about this a lot, and in the at least American StarCraft scene, what we often do against NonY is kind of avoid having to deal with Goon Reaver against Goon Reaver because he is so good at it. With JF seems to really not only analyze his opponent, but kind of analyze the entire situation. Am I ahead? Am I behind? You know, if you notice, we were talking about him being very talented with Reavers.
Yes.
In previous games. And all of a sudden, he started doing all-in builds that weren't Reaver-related, and oh my God.
That's right, JF going for 3 gateway, meanwhile, NonY going for 2 gateway and a robotics.
Wow, this is very uncommon on this map because it's not supposed to work.
You know, I don't like JF's opening. The only thing that's good about it that I see is that it may catch NonY off guard because you don't really see 3-gate on here that much. You kind of have to force over that ramp, or rather these little tiny bridges over here if we take a look at NonY's natural. But, you know, 2 gateways plus, you know, either an observer to scout or whatever, or even a reaver to hold, I feel like NonY's build order is a little bit better. It's so hard to funnel over those little bridges, basically.
It's weird, too, because you can see there's a road there, so at some point in time there was actually traffic going 2 ways across those bridges. But still, when you get StarCraft units, the action's not quite the same. By the way, the 3-gate Goon Rush is moving forward near the Panda Bear guy starting location here. In the center of the map here, he's going to watch it all unfold. Actually going to be an obstruction here in the middle of the map, impacting this game slightly. What NonY has to do is back up. He should know at this moment that JF moving out like this is an abnormality. It's a 3-gateway Goon timing rush. Definitely not 4-gate hero. Moved out a little bit later.
Now, I like these Zealots. The reason why JF has 2 Zealots is because they are damage sinks. Dragoons deal less damage to Zealots being small units. He's going to use them to help force over, and here he goes. NonY, though, he has a lot of units right now. The supplies are very similar, but JF does have a little bit more. JF pushing over now, and NonY, very good micro so far, saving all of his units.
So far, NonY looking pretty good. Remember, JF has to walk all the way across the map to get over here. And oh my god, what is this Dragoon doing? There's a Dragoon with narcolepsy right outside his base. He woke up now. Gonna move in there and attack. The Nexus canceled. But if NonY controls his ramp, he's gonna be okay. The game will just pan out in a different manner.
But it looks like JF will be able to get a containment on. NonY, in the meantime, getting a shuttle. He's getting a 3rd gate as well. He realizes, okay, I'm going to be a little bit contained. I need a shuttle for movement, and, well, I may as well get a 3rd gate to spend all my minerals.
NonY actually going to move... Oh, I was a little bit confused about those probes for a second. He's going to get those probes there in case it turns into a 4-gate rush, and his opponent tries to move up the ramp. You can see suddenly JF handling this quite well, makes a Nexus right away. He will eventually move those Dragoons out if his decision-making is right. That's simply to contain his opponent, and now what JF can do is rush for an expansion and hold off a counter Goon Reaver push.
Now, we see that actually NonY, he has canceled his shuttle. He realizes, okay, actually I want some units. I'm getting a robotics support bay. I really need to be able to push down and get out of here. You know, obviously, like you said, he doesn't want to die to 4-gate Goon. But JF, in the meantime, I like his play here. He's getting his own robotics. He's still macroing. But he is getting a Nexus up, so he's actually going to have not only a supply advantage, but also the economical advantage, as well as the positioning advantage. So basically, everything is going well for JF right now, and we see that he's actually skirting NonY's base with some Dragoons to watch for any shuttle play. So, you know, I really love what JF's doing here. A really intelligent player.
Looks like NonY's going to go for Reaver before shuttle here. So he's actually going to try to use that Reaver to push down the ramp, I would assume. This is going to be very interesting. JF's playing quite well. You know, this is not an easy position to be in. If you don't kill them with that 3-gateway rush, you're going to be in a situation where even though you have position advantage, intel-wise, you're very behind. You're going to get those observers out incredibly late, so that's going to be tough too.
Now look at the top of NonY's ramp right now. He has 1 Reaver, he has a couple Zealots, and a bunch of Dragoons. Now the problem here is, if he tries to go down that ramp at all, and he's going to, there he is, he's using those Zealots, they would absorb hits, and this is a smart move right there. He busts out immediately, and I like this play, man. He's getting the shuttle, so he's going to go ahead and counter JF as quickly as he possibly can, but JF right now, a lot of supply at 75 compared to NonY's 58.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with evacuating those Dragoons, and he did that just in time. Very nice play. NonY, I'm curious if he's going to go for an expansion. He will, so if he gets a shuttle out, he did sacrifice getting 3 Dragoons to get the Nexus out there. And he might even go for harassment play. If we get a shot of his robotic support bay, let's see here, he is getting shuttle speed. So what he's going to do is try to harass his way back into this. Now, you got to be careful because obviously his opponent went 3-gate Goon, so that's a lot of Dragoons technically that he can defend with.
And we see in JF's main, just above Observatory, he has 4 Dragoons, but NonY's Observer sees this, and he corrects course with that shuttle in the middle of the map. So right now, JF looking very strong economically, very strong macro-wise, and just pretty much safe overall. And look at this, he's getting Zealot legs in his Citadel as well as a Templar Archives. So he's actually going to go straight to High Templars to counter the Reaver play of NonY. I really like this move from JF. He's showing a lot of depth in his play.
Yeah, NonY is, well, he might be a baller for beating Hydra. I don't know if it's going to help him out in this situation, at least in this game. I think it's not a bad idea to get shuttle speed and try to win with that, but as you can see, it doesn't seem to be doing anything for him. He hasn't done enough damage. And at this moment, you know, when your opponent's this far ahead, you've already invested so much money into getting Goon Reaver and then getting shuttle speed that if you don't do damage with it, you're really, really hurting.
Well, we see NonY right now. He's at 80 supply. He is catching up supply-wise a little bit, 99 to JF. And, well, JF, he's getting a lot of Zealots right now. And this is, I mean, yeah, Reavers are good against Zealots, but Zealots with speed are really going to help him to close the gap. And, you know, I can't see NonY breaking out easily. I think what NonY's going to have to do is really abuse his shuttle speed that he's gotten. With these Reavers, he has to get some sort of damage done here. And that's really the only way I see him gaining a real advantage here, as long as JF doesn't make any huge blunders.
JF, I gotta say, didn't expect this game to turn out like this. But as we can see, both these guys two-basing pretty hard here. Remember, containment on Protoss versus Protoss in Destination is incredibly strong. Those two bridges act like a big funnel, and there's really no way to get out of there.
And Tasteless, it looks like JF has heard you, because as soon as you start talking about the containment, guess what he does?
Well, not only can JF invent good builds, he can invent time machines.
Yeah.
And come here and listen to his own cast.
In an alternate reality, JF was sitting behind us watching his own games. Anyways,
the guy is smart.
Yeah, he is. Well, we see a big containment here by JF. And here's the thing, NonY has a lot of Zealots, a lot of Dragons. Look at this, he's going to try to push out right here. Here comes the Reavers, but there are High Templars there, two of them with enough energy.
Oh, God.
And NonY flies the Reavers right into the Dragoons. One Scarab gets off, he loses the shuttle. NonY. Looks like you are dead, buddy.
NonY, you don't do that. Can't do that. That was painful to see.
NonY just broke my heart, man.
I know. I got a little nerd tear coming down my face, but
yeah.
You know what? JF's playing this really well. These guys are boxed in here, and I don't know if there's any way that NonY can get out of his base now. It's basically impossible. You can see, here we go. He's going to mine out this back location, but the problem is that then JF can just counter into the main.
Yeah, basically JF has a Zealot in the top right if you take a quick look there. And as soon as he sees any of NonY's units at either location move out, JF is just going to hit the front with everything he has. And that is something very hard for NonY to overcome. And this is why he's adding 3 gateways right now as a main. Basically, he realizes, okay, I have to make a really strong move, like, right away. You know, just make a bunch of units, stop probe production completely, which he's already done, as you see, and just do something extremely strong. Just, you know, he has to make some sort of power move, and JF has to mess up that. NonY knows that, and that's what he's setting up right here. He's trying to set up a situation in which it's possible for him to get lucky and come back.
I like this, though. He's going to go for a lot of DTs. Try to slip them out, it looks like. And it does seem as though... well, he's got 2 right there at the ramp. Could go for a shuttle drop here. And he does have shuttle speed, which would make that very powerful.
That's true. You know, if you put like 3-4 DTs in a shuttle, it can kill anything. That's what I always say.
Those DTs are pretty good.
Look at this. The DT's sneaking out by NonY's army. I really like this. I mean, by JF's army, rather. NonY slips them right out, and JF does not notice.
This can change everything. Because if he gets over there and takes out the Nexus, that's going to be GG. 1 cannon they're defending.
As well as an observer.
So you better not attack that location.
Yeah, man. And 2 cannons at the other one, so I'm not sure exactly what he's going to be able to get done with this, but 3 DTs can take out a lot of units. Look at this. He's engaging the Zealots. This is not a good idea. He has to back up, but look at that. Sniping a High Templar. That's always a useful thing to do with your Dark Templars.
Well, and they can't kill that that Nexus. You got to kill something important. We did see some Storm Drop action over here, and it does look like... no, excuse me. We did see the probes getting moved back out of there, though.
And right now, look at this. NonY flying a shuttle into JF's Dragoons. Okay, That is not something I expect to see. At High Templars in there. At this point, JF is ludicrously ahead. He's taking a 4th base. He's got 168 supply to 111 from NonY. Basically, JF is waiting for NonY to leave the game at this point. That was a blunder. We've seen NonY do that twice now, just flying shuttles out. I don't know why he did that, but he did, and now it looks like he's just going to make this last-ditch attack.
He's going to try to break out. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. He can try his best here. Nice storm, but as you can see, those units going to run right in there, though. The angle not terrible here for NonY, but as you can see, there's a chunk of units over here on the left, actually.
Yeah, man.
That are actually not participating in this. They're on strike, apparently.
If those did participate, you may have broken JF's army. Not to say he would have won the war.
Well, he should have done more
battle,
damage.
maybe, but yeah.
You can only assume that those units are family members of the people that died in the shuttle that NonY flew into there. So there you go. GG. Exciting game.
Yeah, NonY though. Wow, that play was quite trashy. I mean, to be perfectly blunt, that was garbage play.
Well, you know what's funny about it is that you could see NonY was pushed back into his base, and he really wasn't ever able to recover from this initial moment of being rocked early on. He wasn't able to adjust his build, and I think he might be a little bit worn out from that last game.
I think he might possibly tilt from this. I mean, what he doesn't normally tilt, but that was such bad play. Something has to be going on in his head, man.
Well, in PvP, the matchup's so fragile early on that it's really easy if you get behind to get stuck in this moment where you're just barely hanging on. And oftentimes you almost have to wait for your opponent to fly a shuttle in there and pick it off. But especially on Destination, that map is pretty unforgiving. Let's go to our next map, Outsider. Outsider.
I love this map.
It's great for mirror matchups.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the best mirror matchup maps you can have.
There's all sorts of different ways they can play it. They can go ahead and take those mineral expansions. They can go ahead and play normal and take one of the center ones. The rush distance is very short. Shuttles are extremely good. Hopefully, we'll see good shuttle play this time instead of NonY flying shuttles into Dragoons.
Well, you know what else, though? We're going to see very different build orders, most likely. PvP on this map, you got to be very smart. This map, in a way, reminds me of Requiem. Requiem? That map was really tough PvP. There was a lot of different ways you could play that. And I'm curious to see if we're going to see the back expansions, these double gases, play a role in this game. Remember, because it is partially an island map, we can see Reaver play more likely.
Yeah, and I do love to see that Reaver play, man. Reavers are a fun unit.
They're a cool unit, man. I got to agree with you. Is there anything else we must say? Besides the fact
it's 1-1.
That we love poker, and that we love StarCraft, and we love all the people tuning in. By the way, guys, it's good to be here with you.
Absolutely. Well, let's get going into game number 3.